Hello everybody, my name is Gatis Kandis and today I will tell you the third part of my USA adventures. So if you've not seen the first and second part, I will put them in the description below. You're welcome to check those out as well. So now when they had decided I will be deported, so I went back to the room with 70 other guys, and I didn't know exact date when I'll be deported, so I just kept living there. And then suddenly one night, these officers came. They said, let's go, you're being sent back to Latvia. And so because it was so early or late, everybody was mostly sleeping, so I didn't even get to say goodbye to my jail friends, because some guys, they were very friendly. I couldn't say goodbye because they were sleeping, and these officers, they were rushing me, so I had no time. So it was a little bit, it was kind of sad. Like, even it was exciting, to finally get in freedom, but at the same time it was a bit sad. I didn't get to say goodbye. Anyway, so then I was put in some waiting rooms. One thing I remember specifically, I was in some waiting room, like, with the shackles. Me and there was another Chinese guy, and he was also being deported. And I remember that he was like, so how to say, so macho about it. He was like, "Oh, I'm proud. I'm happy they're deporting me. I had enough of USA. I'm happy I'm going back home." And then there was me, just like, I was crying because I didn't want to leave. It was like, it felt like the world's ending for me, because I didn't want to leave. And so now it's just like sitting there and waiting to be deported. So then eventually we got, escorted to airport. And so again, with the security guards, they literally came with me all the way to the door of the plane to make sure that I don't run away, which I probably would have done if I had a chance. And so now when I was on a plane, waiting, I was still kind of thinking, oh, can I maybe, go out of the plane, and maybe I'll be able to, because like for me, like, even I was released now, it still didn't feel like freedom, because I was not able to be in USA, which is where I wanted to be at that point. But anyway, I didn't risk it. I stayed in a plane. So the plane was going through Moscow in Russia, and then from Russia to Latvia. So when plane was flying to Moscow, it was March. I remember the month was March, and I had nothing on me. Just like they gave me like I remember a blue jumper, and that was it. Didn't have money on me either. So I was flying to Russia, and I was like super depressed. And I was looking out the window. I was sitting by the window, and there's like, we were flying across frozen ocean or mountains, I don't know, but it was all white, and like it was like looking mountains. And like, as far as you can see, everything was white and kind of like mountains. I don't know whether it's icebergs in the ocean, or whether it was mountains somewhere. I don't know where it was. Anyway, so we got to Moscow in Russia. So I got out there, and so now I had a ticket to go to Latvia, which was for the same night. So I went to one of this security guard. I'm like showing the ticket. I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to Latvia today," and he was kind of rude. He was like, "No, that's not today. That is tomorrow." And so I look at the ticket, and it says it's today, and I'm getting worried because I don't want to miss my flight, because I had nothing on me. I had like no money. So this was my only ticket to get back to Latvia, Riga, which I haven't checked now. It's maybe like 1,000 kilometers away. I don't know. Too far to walk. So anyway, eventually I managed to convince this security guard that it is indeed today. My flight is today. The other plane, and turns out the airport I'm flying from is not the one I'm at, but it is a different one. So now they put me in like a kind of old white van, and I remember there's just one driver, so some Russian guy. And so I was in the van just by myself. It's like, old van is like all smelling of gas and like rattling and like very old. And so now he is supposedly taking me to the other airport. And like, we were going through some forest road, like literally there's nothing else, just some like dirt road, just him and me. But I was like so depressed. I didn't care like about anything. So then I don't know, like half an hour later, like we eventually did arrive to another airport, which is a smaller airport, and there was the plane already waiting to go to Riga. I don't know whether they waiting for me or not. I don't think so. I literally, as I got on the plane, they were closing the door. So I literally made it. Like maybe if I was like 5 minutes later, we would have made it, because as soon as I arrived, the plane was leaving to go back to Riga in Latvia. So now when I got to Riga, you know, I remember it was late. It was late night, like midnight, whatever. It was too late for me to go back home. So I know where to stay. Again, had no money. So I stayed at the airport, and so there's like nobody there except I remember there's one security guard. And so I remember he came up to me and I asked him, is it okay? Can I stay here? He said, yeah, you can stay on a bench. So I was kind of like just sitting, half sleeping on the bench all night. And the next day, in the morning, I went to the bus station. I must have had a little money to get back to home where I live, which is like 4 hours away from capital city. And so I had not told anyone. So when I got back home, I surprised, you know, my family, and just, you know, hugs and crying, and that was it. Yeah, when I got to airport in Riga, you know, I went to the toilet. I was just, you know, very very sad. I was sitting on a toilet, you know, not doing anything, just sitting there. And the toilet was all like so nice and modern, and I was kind of like still thinking, oh, maybe I'm still in like USA. Anyway, I guess it was a little traumatic experience, because, you know, I was forcefully removed, and of course I was like thinking, oh, how come I cannot, you know, live where I want to live? Because, you know, yeah. So anyway, that is how I was deported back home to Latvia. It's about 18 years ago. And so I guess the lesson is follow the law, because the reason I was deported, because I stayed too long originally. You know, I stayed like 2 years too long. And if I knew all this, I would have gone back home when I was supposed to, because then I would have a chance to go back again. But because I didn't do it, so now I was not able to go. A few years ago, I actually applied for visa to go to USA for just traveling visit. They didn't give it to me because they said, you know, you need stronger ties with UK, which is where I live now. Because obviously they think, okay, I've done it once, I might do it again. I wouldn't do it, but obviously, you know, they don't know. So yeah, the lesson is follow the law, because it's just easier to live that way. Yeah, anyway, thanks again everyone for watching. If you wonder where I'm these days, I'm streaming on my other channel every single day if you want to join. And anyway, I wish all of you a very beautiful day. Okay, bye.